Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the StraitJacket Podcast. I'm your host, 𝐬𝐿, and today I have a very special guest with me. This is Jacqui.
Hi.
Hi, Jacqui.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy that you're here. And this is actually take 2 because we had some technical difficulties. So you guys missed the beautiful introduction that I had the first time, but that's okay. We can run it again. I've known Jacqui for a number of years and gotten to see her through a lot of the waves that us humans go through, which being in sobriety, not being in sobriety. And God brought us back together in this last year, and I've gotten to see the woman that she is and has become in the fullness of herself. And it's been such an honor to watch you.
It's been an amazing journey.
It really has been.
Like my personal growth and just being able to challenge myself. You know, I feel like you know, I really just kind of settled into like who I'm supposed to be, who God wants me to be at this moment. And I'm looking forward to the future. Like he just keeps delivering and he just keeps surprising me. And just when I think I got a plan, he's got a better plan for me. And, you know, sobriety can be a beautiful thing if you just dig deep. You know, and you got to have the willingness. And when I got sober, I had the willingness. Like I had the desperation that I really wanted.
That G-O-D.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know G-O-D at that moment.
Well, the gift of desperation.
Yeah.
And it's funny that the acronym is God.
Yeah. I mean, it was his plan for me, but I didn't even know it was his plan for me.
Right.
You know.
Now, when I met you, had you already had a stint of recovery, or was this your first time in recovery?
I was court threw me into recovery, and I didn't even know he was throwing me into recovery personally, but I ignored that. And then obviously I had a lot more seasons under my belt, and it wasn't until I got sick and tired of being sick and tired that I really just decided that I was fed up.
Yeah, you got sick
fed
of
up. Yeah, I was sick of my shit, if you will.
Exactly.
Know? And I was my own worst enemy, honestly. And I didn't know what my future was going to look like. And when you're in that spot of
limbo,
of going like, this is all I know, you know, and you're willing to take that leap of faith, not knowing, and I failed in so many different areas. It's like, what did I have to lose? You know, when I got sober, you know, I never did a detox. I never did any kind of sober living. Yeah. I just woke up one day and I just decided I had had enough, and I went out and seeked it, and it took me a couple times to like get it right. You know, and it took me picking up a lot of charges, you know, which we will get into. We'll get into to the gritty, nitty gritty details. There's so much there. I don't even know if we have enough time for that, but you know,
we'll make time for some.
Yeah, we'll make time for some of it. But you know, I'm just so proud of myself. You should be. I'm so proud of myself.
And I'm proud of you too.
Thank you. And it shows. Like when people look at me, like, it becomes contagious. Yeah. You know, when they see the change in you and they're like, wait, what's the secret?
It's so validating.
What's the secret?
Yeah.
So I just try to lead by example and just hold the hand when I can. And, you know, I'm a little particular about who I hold the hand with nowadays. You got to find those boundaries. I think, you know, I didn't know what boundaries look like or what that was. And, you know.
Were you never taught those things growing up?
We were kids just to be let loose.
Yeah.
You know. It was just, there was no parental guidance. You know, my mom tried the best she can. She was a single mom, and, you know, she worked 2 jobs and she bartended, and us girls were left to raise each other. And, you know, addiction came really early on for, you know, my family. And you don't know what you're doing when you're in it. You're just going full force.
Especially if that's all that you see, it becomes your normal.
Yeah.
It becomes your normal. And so when you're trying to find a way outside of it, it's just like when it's all you know, you don't know any different unless you're shown differently.
Yeah, but I really pushed the limits, you know?
Yeah, because why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Like I always wanted to push it to see how far I could push it.
Right.
You know, I was one of those, but it's like it only was my own demise that hurt me. And the end of it all, you know, I spent a lot of times wanting to be like a hard ass, and I was very angry when I was a child. Like when I say angry, like I was the epitome of like, you looked at me the wrong way and it was on.
Yeah.
You know, and I went to, in my childhood, I'll just kind of dig into that a little bit.
Yeah.
My parents divorced when I was 5, and I went to 4 elementaries, 2 junior highs, 5 high schools.
Yeah.
You know, I was getting in a fight every 2 weeks, you know, and my mom was, you know, both my parents are from the East Coast.
Okay.
My mom was from Pennsylvania, kind of like Amish kind of town farm, but she...
Good old Dutch.
Yeah, the Dutch, you know. And my dad was a hardcore Italian New Yorker, Vietnam vet, you know, and narcissist, you know, not diagnosed till this day, but it's pretty obvious.
We can tell.
Yeah. So, you know, the odds, I'll be honest, like coming out the womb, the odds were against me.
Yeah.
They were. And I think that goes for a lot of people. You know, I victimized myself when I was younger, you know, and I was very angry. And my mom at 16, she wanted to be a mom, and she had that chance to be a mom to me. And, you know, I ran away a lot and stuff. And, when she decided she wanted to be a mom now, I was going to really give it to her. Yeah. You know? I was going to give it to her.
Who gave you the right? Yeah. You didn't show up for me.
Now you want to show up. And so ultimately I was kicked out of my house when I was 17. And I was left on the streets, and, you know, I went and lived with a friend, and I was trying to get through high school, and his dad was like, you know, I can't take on another kid. She's got to go. And ultimately, that led me down to, I had an older boyfriend that was a drug dealer, and, you know, I did that vicious cycle. And I either had you know, strippers, drug dealers, and gangsters. They all go hand in hand, you know, and that was
underworld.
Yeah, that was the life I lived. And I started, you know, dancing at 19 years old and finding my own means to support myself. You know, I was hardcore and doing a lot of drugs. Yeah. And I had the drug dealer boyfriend, like I said. So
what drugs were you doing?
Like my mindset told me, oh, if I have a little bit of money, I can get myself away from this, you know, demise. And I mean, come on, I'm a stripper. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a stripper. Like, how do you think I'm going to get away from that? You know? So
what people don't understand about dancing and the underworld drug dealing and all those things is it's not just the money, though the money is very addictive. It's the entire lifestyle. You are completely entrenched in this lifestyle, and it's like you're addicted to the power that it gives you because it gives you a sense of power and control. Yeah,
but also too, for me, it was like in my eyes, every time I showed up to work, I was like degrading myself.
That's the way you felt when you were dancing?
Yeah, I felt like I was degrading myself. Like I knew that I had a better chance at something else, but I just couldn't get out of that vicious cycle. And, you know, I did that for about 20 years. You know, on and off. Yeah. I went to school to be a hairdresser when I was about 23, and I got my cosmetology license. And then I kind of like had my hands in all the cookie jars, bartending, waitressing, trying to do whatever I can to get myself out of that. But I always found myself going back to try to supplement the income. Yeah. It was like, because I didn't have anybody to count on. Right. You know, I couldn't call up mommy and daddy and be like, hey, bail me out of this. I mean, granted, my mom bailed me out of jail a couple times, like my poor mother, you know, she'd be like, this is the last time, you know, this is the last time. And I'd be like, yeah, you know, but, you know, so I did that kind of like chasing my tail for a long time. And then COVID happened, you know, and everything shut down. Yeah. Everything shut down. The whole world shut down. Right. You know, and I had to like find a new hustle. Yeah. And I found myself going, okay, I can do it without all this stuff. And I got into the barbering world. Yeah. And now I'm a full-time barber, and I'm a successful barber, and I have one job. You know,
one job that pays all the bills. And you only got to do one job.
One job. Imagine that. One job, you know, and I show up to work and I do my best. And, you know, every day I just wake up and I give my best. That's all I can do. You know, I'm so like, I have an apartment like on the water. I'm moving to another unit and where I'm at, and I'm going to have an oceanfront view. Like, what? Are you kidding me? I have a good job I love. I have a boyfriend I love. I have like, so, I'm so grateful and gratitude. And like, I feel like a lot of people, they, you know, they want to just like hate on the world and just be like, you know, the world is tearing me down. And, you know, you just got to try to live in gratitude is the thing I could say. Is it's like people like just live in gratitude for what's around you and trust that God has a plan for you. And, you know, I just do. And he just keeps, dude, he's a powerful one.
Yeah.
If he's done a lot of work on me, man. You know, he's done a lot of work on me, and I'm just so grateful. And like today, like, what is this? I'm here at a podcast. Like, what?
Yeah, telling your story.
Like, what? You want to hear what I have to say? Come on, you know, like. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Like,
it's a testament to your journey.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? And your character and who you are, that you have a story to tell.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I mean, I had that gangster life, like I said, the drug dealers, the stripping, I always did that. I had a husband. I actually got, you know, married into Tehachapi prison. I had a...
Whoa. Let's go back. Yeah. Tell me this story.
So, you know, I was trying to live that gangster life and have that gangster, you know, deal. And,
were you guys together before
we were together before he
got
went
pinched?
in? Yeah, he went together before he got in. That was his second time on a round of attempted murder, and he was on the run, and we got busted when he was on the run, and they took him in. They didn't take me in, thank God, you know, and he picked up an 11-year sentence, and halfway into that, we reunited. I was like, you're going to go away for life, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I got to live my life, right?
Yeah.
So halfway in, we reunited and we got married in Tehachapi prison. And I tried to do that vicious cycle of being a, you know, prisoner's wife. And that kind of love that you give somebody is the most selfless love you can give.
True definition of sacrificial, unconditional love, because you're getting nothing in return.
Nothing, you know, like I'm paying for an argument on the phone. You're like, hello.
I was just going to say, yeah, exactly.
Click.
Like it costs me. It costs me emotionally. It costs me my time, and it costs me some money to sit here and. So what are you even fighting about when he is in jail? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, his own demons.
No, exactly.
Right? Yeah, his own demons. Yeah. So, you know, I tried to do that cycle, and you know, we got married in Tehachapi, and then 2 weeks in, they moved him to Arizona, and
is that where his crime was committed?
No, his crime was committed in California, but they moved prisoners because of overcrowding to Arizona. So I was going out there to visit, and that was rough on me, you know.
Oh, the dedication.
And I'm stripping to support all this, you know. I'm stripping to support this guy. Wants money on his books, you know. He wants his special purchase packages. He wants money on the phone. He wants commissary. He wants all these things, and I'm over here feeling like I'm being sucked dry dancing.
Yeah.
You know, meanwhile, this guy's coming up off me. So, needless to say, we were on and off because, you know.
Because who could endure?
Yeah. And I feel like if you truly love somebody, you don't let them do that, you know?
Absolutely.
You don't let them do that. So, needless to say, he got home. He paroled in my house and we weren't together. And, you know, the Four Locos. The Four Locos happened.
The end of an era.
The Four Locos. The Four Locos ruined my marriage because, you know, it ended up in a fist fight.
So there were 2 Locos and 4 Locos.
Yeah. So it ended up in a fist fight. He put hands on me in return. I put hands on him. You know, he was walking out the door and I was pulling him back in going, oh, no, you're not looking that pretty walking out. And that was it. That was the end. I was one and done, you know, and that was a low for me, man.
I can only
That was a low for me. You know, I chased somebody from prison to prison to prison for 11 years. And, you know, it took a piece of me. It definitely took a piece of me. And I was really at my low in the sense that I've thought to myself, like, my world crashed down on me. Like, what's happening, you know? And
because you invested so much, not only financially, but of your time and then of yourself, you know? And I'm sure, and this is for women everywhere, you know, when you're investing in a relationship that has no return, you don't get the return by investing more.
No.
You don't get the return that you want. And I know that it's hard to walk away because you've invested so much, but at a certain point, cutting your losses is the best thing that you can do for your future gain.
You have to make decisions that are hard on you sometimes, and you have to go through the pain in order to get the reward, you know. And I had to live out that pain, you know. I remember I called my dad, and I was sobbing on the phone, and I was like, I'm suicidal.
Yeah.
You know, and I really was. I just didn't know what life was like, what it was worth living for anymore. And, you know, in that moment, I had to like snap out of it.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? Whoa. Like, if I let this world tear me down and keep taking a piece of me, like, what's left of me? Like, there's got to be more to life than this. And, you know, I just had to walk the walk. Simple as that. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, because that was hard. But, you know, look at my life today. Like I said, I got a boyfriend that I truly do love. And
well, that's what I was like. Imagine if you'll do all of that for somebody who hasn't just is completely incapable of giving anything back to you. Imagine what you'll do for the one who is capable of returning that love to you, because we multiply as women. Like we multiply everything that we're given, you know? So what a blessing that you could see what the antithesis of love was. You know what I mean? Like you could see what the opposite of that was.
Well, I think you have a little bit more gratitude in that too, you know?
When you got it, you could recognize it, and it would be more valuable and worthy to you.
Absolutely. You know, it's part of my story. It's my past. It's who I am. I'm not shameful of it. I've made mistakes. You know,
I'm not the only woman who is, you know what I mean? Like, it's a really common story. Maybe not the details are different, but the story of offering love to the point of exhaustion, depletion, and ruin is not an uncommon story.
Yeah, ruin is a good word.
Yeah.
Ruin is a good word.
Yeah, is spiritually, mentally, financially. Ruin.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, you know, like that definitely put me in a cycle of drinking. We'll say that. You know, I lost my mother to cancer after that, and I had some sobriety. Well, I was California sober. You know, I was smoking weed for about 2.5 years and not drinking, and
alcohol was your main drug of choice.
Oh, no.
You're an everything girl?
Alcohol, once I drink, I drug. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm like the cadaver dog. I'm going to sniff it out. I'm going to sniff it out in the room, and I know it's there.
We recognize each other. Yeah. We're like, that one.
I'm like,
right there.
I'm like, you guys aren't gay. You're going to the bathroom together. I know you got something in your pocket. Something. Give it to me. You know, boys don't pee together. Girls pee together. You know? And
even then, they might be, you know, doing some coke in the bathroom.
Yeah. But I was like a diehard, you know, like once I had, that was my thing. And I mean, I would try anything, let's be honest. Like, I would try anything. You know, when the coke ran out, I would meth around. You know,
I'd meth around before coke showed up. Yeah. Like, no judgment.
Like, they call me Cracky Jacqui for a reason. You know, they call me Cracky Jacqui for a reason. You know, and I'm looking back at it, I can see it now. I'd always be like, yeah, right. You know, but yeah,
I would have been offended.
I mean, let's get weird. Right? Yeah, let's get weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you put yourself in situations and places, and you know, I've been raped, I've been robbed, I've been beaten. You know, I've been totally, completely depleted of myself, and you know, it's all because of my choices. It's all because of my choices, and I didn't know what healthy was. Yeah, I didn't know what healthy was. You know, and
so you continued to seek out the same events over and over and over again because that's what your nervous system was used to.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like habitual, right? Yeah. It's like a muscle memory. You just like keep going back to it, not even knowing that you're doing it. Like when you get sober, like how are you going to train that old muscle memory? Yeah, you know,
it's like they say in the word, as a dog returns to his vomit.
Yeah, like when I initially got sober this time around, you know, I was sober, but I was still doing things that I would do when I was like an addict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would have to and that first year of sobriety is like a shit show.
Yeah.
Like a shit show. Are you kidding me, dude?
It's purely by grace that anybody makes it through, you know?
Don't expect it to go all like bells and whistles, because that's not happening. Like it's a real true test, you know? And then you get that 1 year and you're like, I did it. Yeah. No. And you're like, okay, now what? No, like, let's keep going, you know? Let's keep going. And the second year you start to feel like a little bit of relief, but you're still not quite there yet. Like, you really had to dig deep. And I think what really worked for me this time around was God, first and foremost.
Yeah,
like,
that's
hands
the
down.
biggest piece. Yeah,
hands down. And my steps. My steps.
Yeah.
You know, I was harboring a lot. And you know, when you do like your amends letters and your 4-step and stuff like that, we took all like the paper down to the fire pits down by the beach.
Yeah.
And we burned it all, right? And in burning it all, you like look down at the paper and like, what's left? And there was this one little piece of paper left there, and it said love. And it was like, you know,
that's symbolic.
Yeah, it was said love. Yeah. And you know, I think love and happiness are the two things people chase in life. Absolutely. You know, like, everybody wants to feel loved. We don't want to feel like let down by the world. We like put our best foot forward, and we invite people into our circle, and you know, we decide that, like, you know, we're going to love on you, and like, maybe your definition of loyalty is different than my definition of loyalty, you know? Yeah. And everybody has a different view of what life is. And today I don't take so much offense to it. I'm more of like, I sit back and I just kind of observe.
Yeah.
And I just watch people maneuver, and then I decide where I'm going to put you, you know, like I like to say, like, I've been wearing a pants with like 1 million pockets in them. Right. And in every single pocket is like, somebody did me dirty, or like, I'm like, whatever those like little things are of betrayal. And like, eventually those pants become so heavy that like, you can't, it's like so hard to walk.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I got to take these pants off.
Yeah.
Even if that means I'm streaking. You know what I mean? Like, I got to take them off, and I got to go, and I got to run hog wild and just get away from that, because you carry all that, and it just, you can't get to the next point.
Forgiveness, you know, is the only way to proverbially take the pants off.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
I'm keeping my pants on these days, let's be honest.
Good.
Yeah, my pants stay on now. They don't come off at all.
Well, they have less pockets.
Yeah, less pockets for sure.
You know.
So, you know, I'm super blessed in the things that I have and the things I receive today. And it's the little things for me that keep me going, and my eyes are open to when God shows up, and like, he gives me my little, you know, affirmations.
What was one God shot moment for you that like was like almost supernatural that you experienced in early sobriety?
I'm going to go to like a vision instead, because I don't know if it's a vision, but I feel like there was like one time that God spoke to me, and I was maybe about 1.5 years in my sobriety, and I was laying in bed, and I'm just like been really hard with God and Jesus. For me, it's Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't push religion on anybody.
Nope.
And this is my story.
Attraction rather than promotion.
Like, I don't ever want anybody to feel like, just because I'm talking about God, don't be offended, because this is just me. But I'm laying in bed, and, you know, at that point in time, I had like a good relationship with God, and I still do today, but I was just kind of like meditating, and I was laying there, and I had my eyes closed, and I was like, you know what, God, just speak to me. Like, whatever you want to do with me, just like, let me know what you want to do with me. Right. And I kept getting these flashes in my head of like me as like a 5-year-old, like in a park, like with all these kids running around, and I'm laying on a little blanket, and I'm just playing. I don't know what exactly I'm doing. And I'm all by myself, and all these kids are like running around, and I hear him speak to me. He goes, "You were then mine, and you were mine then, and you're mine now." You know, and in that moment, what I related to that was like everything in between didn't matter anymore. You know, I had to like let it go and release it all.
Yeah.
You know, because now I'm his child.
Yeah.
I'm his child. You know, and all those things that I harbored from that vision of being 5 till that day of him speaking to me, you know, that's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. And I had to let it go. I had to let it go.
Do you think it was like a miraculous healing moment for you where it just...
I mean, there's been a few. You know what I mean? There's been a few.
I think we get those sometimes. Like, we just get that the hand of God is there, and something that we could have never done or even conceived could happen in a moment occurs in a moment, in a moment, in a vision, in a conversation with God, and it's removed and...
Just like, boom.
Just gone.
And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
That really just happened?
Yeah.
And there's like a switch.
Yep.
Right? It's
like a red pill
like
moment.
A switch.
Yeah, it's like you took the pill from the Matrix.
Yeah. And it's like you just got hit like right off the head. Boom.
Yeah.
You know? There was another time too where I was at church and they were having like worship music. And my friend's daughter was standing behind me, and she was standing on the chair behind me where we were singing worship music. And I don't know what it was for me, but I had such a hard time, and this probably goes for a lot of people, like raising my hands for God.
Almost like
during
you were
worship. Yeah. But like I would find myself during worship music and I'd be crying.
Yeah.
You know, and now I know that's the Holy Spirit, right?
Yeah.
But needless to say, there was like this 8-year-old girl on my back, and she was cuddling me, and it just felt so warm and so cozy, you know. And during worship, she started raising her hands for worship, and I was just like, man, if she could do it, I could do it. You know, like this little 8-year-old is giving me strength, you know, to do it. And I raised my hands for God, and I've never stopped raising my hand.
You never put them down. Yeah. Children will teach us so much.
I know. It was just like, she was like my inner child, you know?
I could see that.
She's my inner child, you know? And I appreciate like that small moment, right? That small moment. It was so pivotal in my life.
Yeah.
You know? And like, how did I know I was going to show up and that was going to happen? No.
Right.
No, I didn't. So, you know, there's been so many trials and tribulations, and you know, still I'm challenged till this day. Like every single week, every single day, something or someone's coming at me, and I imagine myself in a bubble suit.
Yeah,
you know, I walk around in a bubble suit.
That's the covering.
Yeah, and if you come with me, come near me with some negativity, you can just bounce right off that bubble suit. You know, and like early, even in sobriety, I found myself, you know, in a church. And
do you think it's funny that like you had all of these places set up before you? Because I went to his place when I met you, but you weren't in sobriety yet, and you had met me. There were like everything was kind of set up for you to get it.
Yeah.
When you finally got it, like it was all available to you and it was already in your realm. It was like God was being so detailed when he was setting you up for success.
Absolutely.
That when you were finally ready, like everything was made available to you and it was already in your world.
It definitely was. You know, it definitely was. And it still, like, he uses me all the time. He uses me all the time. Like, take me, use me, do what you want with me. You know, I have to submit to something in my life. I submitted to cocaine.
Yeah.
Like,
I surrendered to methamphetamines. Yeah.
Yeah. I surrendered to that. You know, that was like my God. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd be swan diving in that stuff.
It's an idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was vicious. It was vicious.
Tell me about one of the moments that you realized that you had a problem, you know? Because for me, like, and I tell this story sometimes, I remember I just gotten out of jail. I got extradited and I like I arrested with no shoes, and I, had like LA County jail written across the shoes that I got released in because I didn't have any fucking shoes on. And I went straight to the methadone clinic on La Brea and Pico, and I got my dose and I passed out on a bus bench, and I woke up to some man screaming at me, and he was like, "Hey, do you want help?" And I was like, "No." Yeah. Like, who? I wouldn't even have a thought about it. Like, I was in the most destitute place in my life, and I didn't even have a thought that I needed help. But when I did realize that I needed help, it was like, boom, like I need help. Did you have one of those moments, and what was that like?
I think that moment for me was, I was at the ex-boyfriend's house, and I had gotten weird. You know what I mean? And I always say that when you get sober, it's not a New Year's resolution. It's not like the gym. Oh, I'll start going on Monday. You know what I mean? I think you just wake up one day, and I just woke up, and I walked out of that house, and I was high as a kite.
Yeah.
And I just decided that I'm done. Like I literally was done. I mean, obviously there was other moments that I knew I had an issue, but that was the moment that I was done. And I didn't feel the need to want to explain myself to anyone. I didn't owe anybody an explanation.
Right.
I really had to clean house.
You had to disappear.
Yeah, I had to disappear. And if that meant hurting other people for me to get right, then maybe we'll get back to that at some point and I can make that amends. But I had to really be selfish. You know, I had to be selfish, and it's okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it means you're doing something right for yourself, you know. The first time I got arrested, I was for assault and battery. You know, the second time I got arrested was a DUI. They held me on a warrant for assault and battery.
Yeah.
They sent me to AA. And I just wanted to get my court card signed.
Right.
You know?
You had cotton in your ears, so you just weren't even here. You didn't hear a single thing they said.
And
no aha moments.
Yeah. And then the last time I got arrested for assault with a deadly weapon with a great bodily injury. And when I got arrested for that hit me differently than the other ones, I think, because at that point, I had a husband in prison, you know, in the past. That was already done and settled. But I knew what that came with. I knew that I had to be like, I didn't have anyone to count on. If I went to jail, there was nobody putting money on my books. There
was no Jacqui for Jacqui.
Yeah. And I was scared, you know, I was looking at 8 years in prison. And
tell me that story.
I was downtown Huntington Beach. And I was hanging out with this couple. Okay. And I was hanging out with this couple, and the husband took off. We were standing upstairs by the fountain, if you know, like where Hurricanes is, looking down, and we saw her husband, and he just started wailing on this homeless guy. And the homeless guy hit him over the head with a skateboard. And we ran down the stairs to go help, and she fell on the stairs, and she told me, go help. And so I ran down there. By the time I got down there, they were like down the street in front of BJ's, and the guy's bloody. And I had put my foot on him, on his neck, and I told him, stop. Like, look at what you're doing. Like, stop what you're doing. So needless to say, I thought I was being a witness to it all, you know, and they took me in and said I did assault with a deadly weapon and great bodily injury. Was it your foot? No, what happens is when they take you in on 2 people on charge, you get the same charges. Your co-defendants. Okay. Yeah. So no good deed goes unpunished. I was just trying to help, but literally, if I wasn't out drinking and drugging, I wouldn't have put myself in that situation, correct? Yeah. So I think that was a pivotal moment for me too. They took me away. It was during COVID. They released me in the suit and the paper suit, and they took my shoes because there was blood on it for evidence. And I walked out there with booties on my feet. And I decided that I was going to get to work, and I started going to a meeting, and I got a sponsor. I was going to beat the system. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was my thing. I'm going to beat the system. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to show them that I'm going to, AA meetings, and I'm getting myself right just in case. I also don't have to pick up. 'Cause it looks good in court. Looks good in court. I already know the program, right? Yeah. So, by God's graces, they dropped my charges. You know? Yeah. And so after that, I had about 9 months. And that was the point where I left the ex-boyfriend's house and I got sober again. And now I had the tools. Yeah. I knew what that looked like. Before I didn't know what that looked like. And this is a thing too, when you have program in you and you go back out, you think you got some shame, go back out and use again and come back. That walk of shame is hard. Yeah. It's hard. But there is so much love in those rooms, Yeah. There's so much love in those rooms. So, I mean, I just got to work and I started cleaning house, like I said, and people showed up for me that I didn't think would show up for me. And, you know, I had to get really gnarly with who I was going to surround myself with.
Isn't it crazy? Because I think the best part about recovery and like having community in that way is the people that show up. Like the people are so selfless and like they give it away because they've received it, right? They've been in that position, but it's insane to see the army that shows up for you. And these are strangers. These are people who don't owe you anything. And you like, especially if you grow up the way that we did, where like, you couldn't call on family. Like you didn't have any community. Like there was nobody to call. And now if I was in a situation, there's 50 people. Like that's an underestimation of the amount of people that I could call that would, I know for a fact, show up for me in some way, shape or form. And that's like truly a gift of recovery.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible, the community that you build when you just decide to get it right, you know, because when you're doing good, people see that and they see themselves in you.
Well, good people don't want to hang out with shitty people.
No.
So you attract what you are. So I always say that I judge myself by the quality of people that love me.
Right.
Because you have to be that quality of a person.
Not quantity. Yeah,
you have to be that quality of person to attract somebody like that, because they're not just going around like divvying out the best parts of themselves to people who are going to screw them over. You know what I mean? Like people who have precious jewels inside of them, they don't cast their pearls before swine. You know, they give it to people who are deserving of it. You know, so it's a good measurement of who you are and your character to see people with high esteem and character and selflessness and, you know, generosity and patience and kindness and tolerance and like having all these qualities. You're mirroring it. They're mirroring it back to you because you are that.
I think the thing is too with that is that you have to, it's hard to receive sometimes too, all that.
You have to learn it.
Yeah. You have to like really be like, I know that for me personally, I'm so independent to a fault that I have a problem with asking for help.
Yeah.
So I've learned that, you know, it's okay to ask for help when I need it, because this is a thing. Anytime I ask for help when I get shut down, I'm saying, why did I ask for help?
That's why I don't ask.
That's why I don't ask, is right.
Yeah, but I think it's also, we cannot do this on our own. And so I think that in addiction, like the opposite of addiction is connection. Like they've proven that. They've done multiple studies on mice and community and all this stuff. Like the opposite of addiction is connection. But when we've only had ourselves to lean on, we want to know that we can do it on our own, because if we have to, we must.
Yeah.
But if we don't have to, we have to teach ourselves that it is safe to lean on other people.
Yeah.
And the only way to know if you can trust somebody is to trust them, which is the scariest thing in the world.
You have to trust yourself too.
You have to trust your judgment. You have to trust your discernment, you know? And so you do that in baby steps, and you lean a little and you see if it's sturdy. Like if you're leaning up against a wall, you're not going to like fall into it. You're going to touch it and feel it out, and, you know, and then start leaning a little bit heavier. And then once you have those safe, sound connections, then you know that like if you need to fall apart, if you need to fall, like there's going to be people there to catch you.
Man, it feels so good.
Because we're not
it's like
meant
such
to
a
be
relief,
alone.
You know,
we're not meant to do this alone.
Like holidays come. I can't tell you how many holidays come, and like it's just like circumstantial. Like all the people close to me have died. The good ones, you know, the good ones have died, and now I've been running a solo mission, you know. And the holidays come, and you find yourself alone on the holidays. You're not in the spirit. Like, you know, it's Christmas, you know, and you go, well, where am I going? And what am I doing? And you find that community, go, hey, come on in. Like, we're taking you under our wing. And you're like, all right, cool. I had a good time. And it's just like no pressure. And, you know, I've had so many surrogate families.
I call it framily.
Yeah, family.
Yeah.
It's my family.
That's my family. It really is, because I've never really understood like people who have family are, man, they won the lottery.
Literally.
They won the lottery, and they don't even understand how blessed they are to have like a mom that they can call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think God does give those, like he always takes care of the orphan. You know what I mean? And so he has supplemented my life with like multiple mother figures and multiple sister figures and multiple people who are like family to me and like hold that place for me. So they're friends, but they're family. You know?
which is kind of cool, because you get to pick them. You get to pick them. You get to pick them.
Yeah, I think do you, or is it just faded?
Yeah, I mean, it's all the above.
You know,
yeah.
that's all the above.
It's all the above.
Because I feel like those instant connections, there's certain people that you meet and there's like a soul recognition that happens, and you meet thousands of people. You'll cross the paths with thousands of people in a day, and you don't give them a second look. And then you meet this one person, and it's like, exactly. And you're just like, that one.
Yeah.
That's the fish I like.
I think I have, through my life, I've picked my favorites, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I see something in you, like you have potential, you know, and, I mean, and sometimes I feel like people come into your life for seasons.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, we've done enough here. It's time to move on, and like, no hard feelings.
Well, we're all just walking each other home, and we're teaching each other lessons. We're mirroring each other so that we can learn where our trigger wounds are and where our wounds are, so that we can trigger those wounds and be propelled into growth by it.
I think that when it comes to it, though, like women get the brunt of it. You know, we get the brunt of it.
I can only speak for the women's experience, you know what I mean? Because I'm a woman, but it seems to be...
I mean, we all have our things, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it seems to be that women, they give with their whole hearts. You know what I mean?
We're just emotional creatures.
Yeah, which
Men
is
are physical
so powerful, you know? And like, God, if there wasn't a woman, like if there wasn't a woman's love, like, you know, like the endurance that you experienced, even though it was a detrimental situation to you being with that man, you know, that was in prison, like... commendable to love somebody so selflessly and sacrificially. You know, you don't get an award for it, unfortunately. No, you know what I mean?
I deserve one.
But it teaches you so much, and like the capacity to love, like to have that capacity for love is such a gift.
It really is.
It's such a gift.
But it takes a lot from you, man. When you've walked that walk, it takes a lot from you.
Well, that's where we learn to give where we also receive. We learn that there's reciprocation necessary in order to not be drained. And you learn that the hard way, unfortunately, sometimes.
Ooh, did I ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, did I ever? But I'm so much stronger today because of it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm so much stronger.
And it didn't take your ability to love away. And that's, I think, the most beautiful thing.
You know, I have this thing where, like, you know, I always say that the world's meant to tear you down, and I'm not going to let, like, it take my childlike ways away from me. And I'm
absolutely not.
You know, like, I'm still going to be my silly self, you know, like, because I watch people and they just become numb.
They harden.
They can become numb. And it's like they don't know how to have fun. They don't know how to let loose. Yeah. They just, like, become a shell of a person walking around. And, you know, I'm not going to let the outside world do that to me. I'm just not. Like, my eye's on the prize.
Don't let it steal your whimsy.
Yeah.
No, because it's so easy. And I just remember being a kid and, like, all the adults were, like, stressed out and, like, unwhimsical and, like, not, you know, like, not carefree whatsoever. And, like, I was like, I'm never going to be like that. And then I went through some things, like some real heavy things, and I started to feel myself harden and clench and close my fists. And it took a act of defiance to break that open again and to say, no, I'm going to live, I'm going to love, I'm going to dream, I'm going to believe, I'm going to hope. And I am not allowing life to take that away from me. Like, there's some darkness.
It's hard to put your feelings into like fruition when you're so low like that. You know, when you're like at the bottom, whatever that bottom, and everybody's bottom's different, right? But you're like, you can't compartmentalize how you're even feeling when you're numbing. You know, so you just got to get up. You just got to get up.
Yeah,
just got to get up, and you just got to keep trying.
Yeah, but I think it takes a intention. It's intentional. We're living every day intentionally, because life will knock you upside the head. It'll get you, and you'll wonder if it's always going to be like this, and if the pain will ever end, and if you're going to make it through this or make it through that. And the answer is yes, you will. And that what is waiting for you on the other side will be worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
If you just walk through the hard things.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. I was talking to somebody the other day, and it was like, what if I don't figure it out? And I'm like, you will, because you have to.
Yeah.
What is the alternative? what's the other choice? That's all life is a series of being presented with situations that you don't know how to figure out and then figuring them the fuck out. Yeah. That's all it is. Over and over and over again at different levels.
When you figure it out and you find yourself failing, you just got to try again.
And try again and maybe call in some reinforcement. Yeah. You know?
I mean, yeah, if you have the resources.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to, like I said, nobody gave a shit about me enough to be like, hey, you got a problem. We're checking you into a detox. We're going to help you out like that. I had to make that choice on my own, you know, and like I said, it was just a switch for me.
Yeah.
So like I found myself, you know, in like 5-point restraints in the emergency room with piss all over myself. Tell
me that story.
Tell me that story.
Yeah, tell me that story.
That story.
I do want to know that story.
So I was out at, you know, a lot of my stuff happened in Huntington Beach, like rightfully so, right? I was out at a club and I was taking GHB and I took too much GHB.
So you fell asleep at the club?
Yeah, I fell asleep on the dance floor.
I can see it, just a collapse.
I fell asleep on the dance floor and they had to call an ambulance for me. And the person that had given me the GHB, which I won't drop a name, but it was a significant person.
Yeah.
And they were having a tug of war with my body. You know, he's like, I'm taking her. And they're like, no, we're taking her. And I woke up at the hospital and I was in 5-point restraints. I guess I was fighting them. I don't remember or recall anything. And I had piss all over myself and my pants were halfway down. And, you know, even then, I didn't think I had a problem.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Another story, if you want another story. So I had got a breast augmentation. I knew I had a problem at this point. This was a thing. I had breast augmentation and I didn't remember 4 days after my breast augmentation. And I started doing blow and I was taking pills. And I was streaking around the neighborhood with my new boobs, showing off my new titties. And I was driving.
Literally no clothes on?
Like streaking, showing my titties to everyone. Yeah, because I'm a wild child. I think I had a fur coat on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just a fur coat.
The visual.
Yeah. And I was driving my car. I almost crashed my car, and I was getting a handle of Fireball. And I came back, and they were trying to the house. And my best friend, she's deaf.
Yeah.
She's deaf and she wears hearing aids. And they were trying to take my alcohol away from me. And I hit her over the head with the whiskey bottle. And I almost broke her hearing aid. And the cops were called.
Yeah.
And that was a moment for me. She's my best friend.
Yeah.
She's my best friend. And I lost that friendship in that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do to get her back?
Yeah.
And I started going to meetings. And that's where I got the California sober, 6 months into being sober, California sober, but I was good, you know? And then, and I got that friendship back ultimately by my actions. And, I'm super blessed for that because I show love with action. I don't show it with words.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do. So, ultimately after 2.5 years of that, my mom had passed away of cancer and, you know, I held the hand of death.
Yeah.
You know, I'm that kind of person that rides it out every step of the way. And my mom had passed away. And then 24 hours later, I delivered a baby.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I delivered a baby. So with death came life. And that was a full circle moment for me. Yeah. It made me appreciate life in a different way. And but I relapsed after that.
Yeah.
I relapsed after that because I was suppressing a lot with my mom passing. She was my rock. That was it. She's all I had. So, you know, that's when I ultimately got sober that last time after that.
Yeah. To the person that's watching this that feels hopeless, helpless, they can't figure it out, what do you have to say to them?
1 day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time. And bury the ego and the pride. Reach out for help.
Reach out for help.
Yeah, it's a hard one to do, but, you know, die to yourself. Die to yourself.
Yeah.
And pray. Get on your knees. Pray.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been such an honor to have you on telling your story today, Jacqui.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
I love you so much.
I love you too. Aww. And that's it for another episode of the StraitJacket Podcast. If you're anybody that you love or know is struggling with substance abuse or mental health issues, go to mentalhealthresource.com, fill out the form, and somebody will be in touch with you and get you some help. All right. We love you. Until next time.
Thank you. Bye.